So the next concept. So merge statement I'll explain later. Okay. So how to do update else insert using SQL is with the merge statement. Okay. So this I'll explain later. Okay. Once after I explain about data warehousing concepts, then I'll explain about this merge statement. Or when I'm going to explain about insert else update using IICS. So that time how to do the same scenario, how are we going to do it SQL, that I'll explain. Okay. So the next concept is subqueries. Okay, so this is also one of the very important concept, subqueries, and these subqueries will be used regularly in the in our real times. Okay, so the subquery meaning, so whenever we write any select statement in a where clause, whenever we write any select statement in a where clause, that we will call it as a subquery. So till now we have seen that we are just writing simple select statements in the where clause, we are keeping just conditions. Okay, but if at all we are going to write any query in the where class, that we will call it as subqueries. Okay, so there are three types of subqueries: single row subquery, multi-row subquery, and correlated subquery. So single row subquery and multi-row subquery are very simple. Okay, so whatever the select single row subquery meaning, so whatever the select statement that we are going to write in a where condition, and if that select statement is going to give only one record as an output, that we will call it as single row subquery. Multi-row subquery meaning multi-row. So whatever the select statement that we are going to write it, and that select statement is giving multiple records as an output, that we will call it as multi-row subquery. So when we have a subquery in our select statement, first the subquery will execute based on the result of the subquery, then the parent select statement is going to execute. Let me show that.
Multiple lessons we used to give in, right, without. Okay.
So based on the operator, that we will have to decide like how the result is coming. If multiple records are coming, then in the where class, how are we going to keep the multiple records? Using in. Okay, so when we have a single record, we are going to use equal to. Let's say, so let's start from employee table. So in our employee table, we have all the employees information. Okay, now I wanted to get a result department number equal to, I can write a select department number from the EPT table where department name equal to HR. I know the department name. I know department name, but I don't know the department number. Okay. Now, but I wanted to get only the employees who are belonging to HR department. Okay. So in our employee table where we have the department number, we don't have department name here. Okay. So in this scenario, what we should do? First, we should get the department number for department name. First, we should get department number for department name. Based on this result, the parent select statement should execute. So in the backend, when we write this query, how it is going to work like? First, this is going to replace like this. So first, this select statement will execute. So the department number value is coming as 1. And so the select statement, for us, by seeing that the query is like this. But in the backend, this is how it is going to execute. So when I execute this, so I'm getting only one record with the department number 1. So in the backend, this is going to execute like this. Because first the select statement will execute based on that result. Based on this result, the parent select statement will execute.
So, Bhaskar, if the parent statement will execute the single record, then it is called single subquery, right? Or
No,
subquery.
single row subquery meaning if the subquery whatever we have written in the where class, if this is giving only one record as an output.
Okay.
If this is giving a single record as an output, then it is a single row subquery. For example, I just put HR and IT. It's throwing an error. Single row subquery returns more than one row because we are using an equal to operator. So this equal to operator is going to expect only one record in the where condition, but the subquery is giving multiple records. So it is giving two records. That's why it is throwing an error stating that a single row subquery returns more than one row. So in this case, we should give in operator. So it's going to in the backend, it's going to replace like this. This is going to replace like this. Okay, so based on the select statement, whatever we are going to write, so this select statement, based on the result of the select statement, we will have to use the operator. We have to use in operator or we have to use equal to operator. So for single row subquery, we can use either in or equal to. For multi-row subquery, we should use in only because equal to does not support multi-rows or multiple rows in the where condition. Okay. Got it? What is single row subquery and what is multi-row subquery? The concept is very simple. Whatever the subquery that we are going to write or whatever the query that we are going to write in a where class. In a where class, if at all we have any query, that we will call it as subquery. And the subqueries are of two types, single row subquery and multi-row subquery. Sorry, three types, single row, multi-row and correlated.
Bhaskar, I have one doubt. So in select statement, we have mentioned only one column, right? Department number. Suppose if we are using a two columns, it will be working department number and department name.
Won't work because the department number, here we have only one column, right? So here also we should have only one column. If at all we give department name, okay, the query result will come like this. Okay, one HR, two IT will come, but here the column is only one, right? It will be another too many values because one column is going to expect only one column result in the subquery. It's not going to, should not give multiple columns.
So even in single or multiple query,
Anyone, single or multi-row, not only single or multi-row. So whenever we use the join condition, see, always we have to treat whether it is a subquery or a single row subquery or multi-row subquery or any query, that it doesn't matter. What is the column and how when I execute this result and how this result will become in the backend. This is how it is going to become. Okay. If you have single column, if you have multiple columns, then the values will be coming too many. One department name HR, two department name IT, like that will come. So for one column, we cannot match with the two columns.
Okay, Bhaskar, got it.
Okay, any question? Single row and multi-row subquery. The next concept is correlated subquery. Okay, this correlated subquery is little tricky. Okay, so correlated subquery will be little tricky and you have to pay more attention here. Okay, so basically you will have to understand the question first. Okay, so you'll have to understand the question first, then you should be able to get the answer. If you don't understand the question, so you cannot get the answer. Okay, so a subquery, so in single row subquery or multi-row subquery, what is happening? First, the select statement, what is there in the where class is executing, and it is directly giving the result. Based on the result, the parent select statement is executing, right? But in case of correlated subquery, the subquery will execute for each and every execution of the parent select statement. For every record, the subquery also will execute. Okay, for every row in the table. For each and every record, even the subquery also will execute. But in case of correlated single row or multi-row queries, subqueries, so this is executing only once. It is giving result. Based on this condition, it is giving the final result. But in case of correlated subquery, so for every record, even the subquery also will execute. So I'll just explain. I'll just take an example of it. Okay, and I'll just explain it. So just try to understand. Okay, so here the requirement is find all the employees who earn more than the average salary in their department. Who earn more than average salary in their department. So here, what is for every record when it is processing, they will be having the department, and they wanted to see what is the average salary of this department. For second record, again, this is a different department. Again, we will have to know what is the average salary of this department. Again, the third record. So third record also is a different department. For this department, what is the average salary? If it is going to execute only once, how are we going to identify different average salaries of each department? How are we going to identify different average salaries for every department? So it will be very difficult to keep it or to match it. So that is the reason what we do. We will do a join with the same table based on the department and get the average salary. If the salary value which is coming from the main table, if it is greater than this average salary, then the record will be get displayed. So here what we are doing, select average salary from employee table based on the B.department ID. B.department ID is this equal to A.department ID. So for every record, for this record, the department number 1. So again, the base subquery will execute. Department number equal to department number 1 equal to here department number 1. So 1 equal to 1 condition matches. So for this department number 1, what is the average salary? This value will be coming up. So based on this, if this condition matches, it will give the result. If this condition does not matches, it's not going to give the result. Okay, I'll show here in practical. So let's start from EMP table. Okay, so here I have department number 1, 2, 3. 3 departments I have. For each department, I have multiple records. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I wanted to get who are all the employees are having more than average salary of their department. So more than average salary of their department, where salary greater than, select average salary from EMP table. We should give alias name. Let's say I'm giving A here. I'm giving B here. Where A dot department number equal to B dot department number group by department number. So what I'm doing here, so first for every record for this department 1, So this subquery will execute, and this department number, A dot department number equal to B dot department number. So A dot department number is 1. So ideally it should. Okay, so B dot department number equal to A dot department number. So it is going to replace A dot department number with 1. So this query first, it will become 1. So for first record, for first department, the record will become 1. So this query will execute. Subquery will execute. This is giving average salary of department number 1 is 15,000. Okay, so for department number 1, so for the first record. For the second record, again department number, for second record again we have a department number 1 only. The same department will come. For department number 2 is coming for the next record. So again the value is going to change, right? So this query will execute. So for every select statement, whatever we are writing here, for every select statement, so the base query also will execute. This query also will execute, and if the value is matching this condition, then it will give the result. Now when I execute this, okay, when I execute this, I am getting only these 2 records. Okay, because if I see here, for department number 1, what is the average salary that we are getting? 15,000, right? For department number 1, what is the average salary? 15,000. Now 20,000 is greater than 15,000. This 20,000 is greater than 15,000. True. So we are getting result. 20,000 that we are getting it. So the next record is having 10,000 for the department number 1. For the department number 1, what is the average salary? 15,000. Right? 15,000 is greater than 10,000. Sorry, 10,000 greater than 15,000. Condition false. So this record we won't get it. This will be get discarded. Again, next department number 2 will be coming. For department number 2, what is the average salary? For every department, this query will execute, and based on this is going to give the result 35,000. Okay, when I see here for department number 2, the average salary is 35,000. What is the salary that I have here? 30,000. So this record 30,000 greater than 35,000. Condition does not matches. So the next record 40,000 for department number 2. So what is the average salary of department number 2? Again it will identify 35,000. So 40,000 greater than 35,000. Condition true. This is going to give the value. And for this department number 2 again, what is the salary here? 35,000. And 35,000 greater than 35,000? No, it is equal to, right? So this record also we won't get it. Here we have salary null. This record we won't get it. And here okay, so here we have only one record. So average salary also is the same record. Since I have put salary greater than only, so this record also we won't get it. So that's why we got only 2 records. So ideally what you should understand here is the subquery will be executing for each and every record which is processing by the parent select statement. And for every record, this subquery will execute and give the result. If this result is matching with this condition, so then the record will be get displayed. If not, that record will be get discarded. Okay.
Okay, Bhaskar, can you explain the query alone? But where I struck now, select start from employee A is fine. You given an alias name from salary. Okay, you are counting the salary column, right? After then, you are mentioning a greater than a salary. Okay, then select average salary. That is also fine from employee table. So why you given an alias nameless B now here?
Alias name, see here, this is one table. I'm using, even though I'm using the same table, okay, but I'm using in a different place. This is in a subquery. The same table is in a subquery. So here I should give a different alias name. I should not use A. So when I'm going to give A only here also, so then A, so it will get confused. Like now the query will get confused. Which value should take from which table?
Okay, again it will look for the A alone. It won't look for the another.
Yes, because ideally what it should do. So here we are using the same table for a different purpose. Here the table is for a different purpose. So here the employee EMPA, which is for to display the entire record from the employee table.
Okay.
But here the purpose of this employee B is to get the average salary of the department. However, which department that we should use for the record which is processing by the parent select statement. So for whichever the record which is processing by the parent select statement, that parent select statement result that we are going to replace it here. In the backend, it is going to replace like this. The query will become like this. For every record, this value will be keep changing and this will be get executing, and based on this result, the parent select statement will execute.
Bhaskar, could you please make it a salary greater than or equal to, then we can see third department also, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Any question here? So what is the difference between single to multi-row subqueries and correlated subquery, and how the correlated subquery is going to execute?
Yeah, fine, Bhaskar.
Okay, so in real time also, right? So we will be using these kind of subqueries. Okay, so when we are writing SQLs, we'll be using them. Okay, so this is just a kind of an example. Okay, so if I take some real-time examples and if I explain, I have to explain with a vast concept. Okay, so you won't understand. So that's why I've taken a simple example of employee table where salary should be greater than average salary of their department. And even if you go to interviews also, right, people will be asking the same question and you should write the same query. Okay, because the problem is like to give a different scenario for the correlated subquery, we will have the like to explain the question itself, it will take time. Okay, so to understand the question, it will take time. To give the result, it will take time. So while taking the interview, the interviewer won't spend much time for a single question. So that's why this is the one of the common question for every interview.
So like here, we can say Bhaskar, like a self-joining type queries are all these, right?
Yeah, self-join, yes, this correlated. These are all common questions.
Because department A and A department itself is comparing with the department. So A is comparing with B.
A and B are the same tables only. They are
That's
not
why.
different.
That's why those are self-join means the table is comparing with the same itself.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So in real time, sometimes there are certain situations where we might need to use different tables here or different table joins here. Okay, but don't think too much about the correlated subqueries. Try to understand this and how the concept is working. If you're thorough with this, then you can go to Google and you can get multiple scenarios for correlated subqueries and you can practice them. Okay, but you should try to understand first how the subquery is executing. Okay, so the next is exist operator. So here exist operator is basically which is going to test the existence of a row. So here again it is a subquery only. So what we are doing here, so the question for this is list down the list of departments who are having or which are having employees. From the department table, we are having all the department names, but which departments are having employees, which does not have employees. I wanted to know only the departments which are having employees. So here we are doing a join. Sorry, subquery we are writing here where exist select. So this exist operator, which is going to expect some not null value from the select statement. So subquery result, this is the subquery. The subquery result should be not null. That's it. The exist operator is going to identify only the not null value, whether the subquery result is coming as not null or not. If this condition matches, for every record from the department table, which is going to process, for every record, this will execute. If this condition matches, the select statement will give the result. If condition does not match, select statement won't give the result. For every record, it is going to check whether the select statement is giving a not null value as a result or not. If the result is not null, then exist operator is going to give, because the exist operator will be used to check the existence of rows.
So, Bhaskar, here 1 means what? Select 1 from
Not
the
null
1.
value. It is a
Oh.
not null. Basically, 1, 2, 3, 10, 100, or the department ID, any value that we can give it, because when we give it with the exist operator, because exist operator it will expect only not null value. Whatever the not null value it's going to be. It can be any value. It can be 0. It can be any value.
Okay.
So why we did not give department ID here? Because if we give the department ID, again it will be get confused. So to understand better, we have given a 1. So 1 is kind of a hard coded value, okay, which is going to come with the result only when this condition matches. If condition does not matches, then this won't give the result. The select statement will itself it's not going to result. So for every record, it's going to check, and this exist operator. So the select statement result will be coming as not null for every department. Okay, got it? This you practice it. So I wanted you guys to practice this one, because here I just explained how it is working. Here I wanted you guys to practice. Both are having the same concept only. Here both are having the same concepts only. But here we are using exist operator. The subquery concept is same in both the places, but the operators are different. The functionality is different. Here with exist, and we do also have not exist. Exist and not exist. So not exist will expect a null value. For every record when it is processing, if we are not getting any result from here, that record it will display. The parent select statement will be displayed that record. Because we are giving not exist. If we give exist, it is going to expect a not null value. If we are going to keep not exist, it is going to expect a null value. Okay, I wanted you guys to practice this exist operator. If at all you face any issue and if you are not able to understand, then I'll explain tomorrow. Okay, any questions?
No, Bhaskar. Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted you guys to practice this particular concept today, so that you can ask me tomorrow if at all you have any questions. Okay, so we have 2 more concepts: views and indexes query tuning approach. Okay, hardly 1 or 2 classes. So we will complete the entire SQL. And if you see here, okay, we start from here. So from differences, page number 45. What is the difference between delete, truncate, and drop? What is Okay, what is the order of execution, and row ID and row number I'll explain tomorrow. And where clause and having clause, what's the difference between them? What's the difference between subquery and a correlated subquery? And these are all the important scenario-based questions. Okay, so I have 35 questions here or 34 questions here in the document. All of them are having results. Okay, so what is the question and what is the answer? Okay, we have mentioned here, I think how many 30 questions I have.
Are you going to share this material, Bhaskar?
Oh, this material I have shared to everybody, no?
Okay.
You don't have this? If you don't have, let me know. I'll share this material with you.
Yeah.
Okay, this material should be there with everyone. Okay, I'll give access to this material. So I have 30 questions here. So 30 important interview questions which are having with answers. Okay. So I wanted everybody to practice all these 30 questions. If you are thorough with these 30 questions, then you can crack any interview with respect to SQL. You will be thorough with the SQL. Everybody should understand what is this requirement, how are they doing it, and is there any other way that we can do it. So first, what you should do is you should try to understand the query and frame your query, and then you will have to see the result. And if you are struggling, if you are not able to get, then you have to see the answer here. Okay, 30 plus questions are there, and I request everybody to practice all the scenarios. Okay, so that you will be thorough with the SQL concepts. And also I'll share in the materials folder only. I'll keep interview questions document. Okay, just go through them as well. Some theoretical questions. This is about the practical questions, and there are few theoretical questions. Even that important questions document also I'll keep in the same shared drive. You can take from there and you can use it for your interview purpose. Okay.
Yeah, okay, Bhaskar.